All right, so you all got this part so far? We can explain and go through the, no?
No, not yet. I'm trying to log in to go to the
Okay,
website.
you can go, you can do, where is it? So you can do codex.wordpress.org, or let me do this. If that's why we have Slack, right? So I go here and I just post this into the channel and you can grab it from there. Is that easier? Or you don't have Slack yet? Okay, okay. Well,
I need to log in.
okay, so we're gonna have to keep going and just copy that
Yeah.
there, and I'll explain you guys here. So let's see. I have my folder. I have my two files, but let's pretend I didn't do this part. So I save my style CSS, and I'll go now to uh, my portfolio website. On my system, it's called portfolio.test, and then I'm gonna try to log in real quick. Um, so this is my 2017 that you all have already set up. Oh, whatever is this? I hope, yeah. So I go here and I see all the teams, and I see 2017 child, but I see here some broken teams notification, right? You all see this here. It says broken teams. The following teams are installed but incomplete. It says it's missing the style.css, right? So it doesn't know, even though I do have style.css inside, it doesn't, it's empty, so it doesn't know what to do with it. So in order to tell WordPress what to do with this, we need this section that we copied from the site. And then we edit these things here, right? So you put your name here, you put your website if you have one. Um, Important parts are this template. You want this to match your parent theme uh, template. So what it means, you need to, whatever says in your parent theme in this section, that's how you're gonna describe it here. So let's go to 2017, the original one, and I'm gonna open style.css, and on top of that, you see in the template part, where is it? The actually the theme domain. My bad. So theme text domain, it's called 2017. So this is how WordPress knows uh, how it relates to the themes about with text domain. Also, like translators are using that to translate stuff. If you're gonna use WordPress in different languages and all that. So this part in your child theme has to match with your parent theme, and then version you can leave it like that. This is the general public license. You leave it like that, and you don't have to change the license URL. Is always this one. Tags here you do, if you post that to wordpress.org for other people to find your theme, um, that's how you would do tags. So a lot of people make a lot of money from making themes and selling them, right? Like selling themes for $25. You sell your theme for $25 or $10, but you sell it, you get that like half a million times or whatever. People have themes hundreds and thousands of times downloaded and bought for $10. That's a lot of money, right? A lot of companies are doing that. All they do, they have their designers and coders. They design themes, and coders are coding them, and they selling them, right? But a lot of people are doing it for free also. So, for example, you like your portfolio theme, you you are willing to share with people. You just post it to WordPress.org, and people can download it, or from your website. You know, for WordPress.org, it it needs some to meet some requirements, and you can read about that. What do you exactly need in order to for your team to live there? But you can do those things. So tags are the stuff that helps when people search for light two columns theme. You see you have light and you have two columns, so most than likely your theme will show up among the first search terms, search hits. And text domain, this is how you would tell WordPress to name your theme. So someone downloads your theme, they will need to match this text domain to their template, right? The same way we did with the 2017 actually here. So far so good? Yeah? Okay. And this here, we want to call it 17. Or, for example, in yours case, Melody, you will, Rebecca, you will name it with your name of 2017, the way you call it, right? So this is all we need to do. Now we save that, we go back to the site, we refresh this part, and boom, there is no error anymore, right? Remember that?
Not update the URL,
Oh, URL of what?
the theme URI.
This is
Empty,
yes, because I don't have this theme anywhere posted. You will post this. For example, you host your theme. You want people to go and find it and download it. That this is where you would put the URL, right? So now we save this and we have 2017 child that is showing up here in Teams, right, in the dashboard of WordPress. You all know how to get to WordPress dashboard? No? Okay, so you have your website. Let's say in your case is localhost. If you're a Mac, you have this port, and then your portfolio is your folder. So this will bring your website up. In my case, I have some settings up, so it creates like a URL for me. So this is my site right here. So let me log out. So one of ways you can go down and find login, if I changed the theme a little bit, so I don't have the login, but you can, every theme WordPress, in WordPress general, you can go to the admin by wp-admin after you're in the URL, and when you put that, it's gonna bring the login form. So you do this and it brings form, and now when you installed your WordPress, remember when you set up that username and password? That's what you use now to log in. And if I remember my password, what is it? Yes, go ahead.
When I type that in, it just goes to Google portfolio.test/.
Well, you can't do that. That's only on my system. You do your localhost, and then 888 for your port,
Okay, then I'm already.
and then you do portfolio. So now just add portfolio, and then you just add WP admin like this. Where is it? How
I'm
can?
already there then. Wasn't sure
Oh, I
if
can
it was
zoom
different.
right. So when you do this, it will bring you the form, login form, and you log in with your credentials.
Could you please go back to the style.css?
Yeah.
Because in my theme page, it's still showing up as broken.
You probably didn't do the template. You didn't change something here.
Template 27.
So make sure here it says 2017, and this text domain, make sure you name it differently. Don't leave so you gotta call it 2017-child or whatever you wanna name it, but it can be that default one. So are you all able to log into the dashboard of WordPress? So we never went through this. Let's do it really quick. But this is why are you moving? This is dashboard or backend of WordPress. So the other page that you saw earlier, like this one here, this is front end, right? This is the theme. This is how the theme is structured and programmed to look like and behave. And then to set up these menus and the content to write posts, to create pages, you all do that from the dashboard area. And when you deliver this to your clients, you can give them access to this backend and tell them, kind of teach them, okay, this is where you create posts, this is where you create pages, this is where you upload your media stuff. And there is a lot of it here, but what I would tell you to explore this by on your own. Just go, actually, for this class, for next class, you can create like couple of pages and couple of posts inside your child team, like inside this setup, and then just go on the front end and see what actually, like, how the pages are looking in the front end, right? And they will look by the way that that basic default theme is created, because we didn't change anything. We just created a child in out of it, so everything is the same as the parent. We never did any changes. uh, and this just go through these different sections and check it out what is doing. So here you would install plugins. Here you go to change themes. So this is where I went. So appearance and then themes. And if you did everything right with your styles.css file that we were just editing, you will see 2017 child theme here.
Should we activate that one?
Yes, so go ahead, and so mine is activated. That's why I don't have the activate button. So I already did it. And if you did everything okay, when you go to the front end, you will see it will look the same as it looked before, right? But it's that.
It looks a little different, like the picture's bigger and it's kind of broken. Like it looks like this.
Okay, yeah, so you didn't do. Oh, okay, yeah. We're not there yet. I'm sorry. But that's a sign that you did good with style.css. So it's using your child team. You're not anymore on your parent team. So you are now on child team. But in order to WordPress to inherit or copy use all the styles from the parent team, we need to edit functions.php file, right? So those are two files that we need to edit. So we finished with the style.css, and now we have to edit that other file that we have, the functions.php.
Yeah, mine is broken as well. Once we do the function, it's gonna start working.
Yes. So this is gonna look super complicated probably, but you just copy and paste pretty much. You don't. That's why it was good to have Rudy's class before this class, like PHP class, so you can kind of have a little more understanding about PHP language, programming language. But it's not super necessary to do it, because you would just copy this code here and it will work. So you save this now from this class and you can use it over and over and over the same way. It will work whenever you want to create child team. But we will go through this really quick so you can understand what actually is happening here. And it's not that complicated, right? At the beginning it is, but when you're done with it, you'll say, oh, okay, I get it now, right? So there is so you need one function. So we declare one function right here, and we call it. We can name it any name, doesn't matter. Here it's called my team NQ styles, and then inside those curly brackets, we say this is a variable. In PHP, every variable is starting with $sign. So we say this parent underscore style variable will be 2017, like a string.
Is there somewhere we can copy paste this entire line from, or do we type it all?
Good question.
Same place, it's just below where you got the.
So the same page, yes, the same page where you were before. You go down, and this is like a recommended way. The bigger snippet. You can do this part, and it will work. But the recommended way is this, because it's going to like pay attention on versions and different things. So you just copy this part here, and what you need to do is to change a little bit to what you named your team, right? and what parent team is that you're creating child for. So when you, the original one, it says inside parent style variable, it says parent style. Obviously you need to change that to match your domain, your template from your child team. So in our case it's 2017. That's the parent team that we want to use all the styles from, right? So this is giving us like a start point. We want to use everything that 2017 team has, all the styles, all the functionalities, everything, but we want to keep going. We want to create something out of it. So this part of code will include all the styles and everything from that parent team for us. So this part right here, we need to name it as our parent team is named. So our parent team is 2017. That's what we put here. And then this is the function that WordPress has built in. We say WPNQ style, that's always called this way. And then inside the parentheses, you say, okay, which styles I need to use. And then it will use this parent style variable, which is declared right here. So basically we can do this, we can copy, we can get this, and instead of using the variable, we can just put this here, right? It's the same thing. And then this is building the URL of the parent style.css file, this part right here. So this function is also built in WordPress. When I said you don't need to know PHP that much is because WordPress has a lot of those built functions that you don't really need to know PHP for. You just need to know what they're doing, like what is the result of those functions. So get template directory URI, this function will build the URL or the path of your parent team style.css file, right? So this, instead of you typing the whole this thing right here, let's move this a little. So instead of you typing WP content /teams /2017 /style.css, right? Instead of you typing this part right here, get template directory URI will bring that in for you. So all you need is just to append the file name, which is style.css, and this part is building this string right here. So our WP enqueue style function will go to 2017 team and bring style.css, which is right here, and this has all the styles from the parent team. So instead of what Bilal did, copying these styles over to your style.css, you just do this line of code right here, and WordPress will know to include all that styles from the parent team to your team, and then in your own style.css you can start doing changes the way you want, right? They are different from the parent one, but once the parent team gets updated, it doesn't change your files, your team. So your team will always be the way you want it, right? And then this second part is actually we telling WordPress to use also, after loads all the parent styles, you say, okay, now use all my child team styles on top of the other ones. So this is that second part. So the first part brings the parent. Usually we like when you write code and stuff, you want to comment things. So this brings the parent team styles, right? And then here you can comment this and say bring some child team styles. And then so here it says the same function. We just this part here is it's called handle. It means that you can point inside your code. You can point to that handle. In this case, it's called child style. You can call it, Nenad style, whatever you want,
So
gym
we
style.
don't need to rename that.
You don't need to rename it, but this is the way how you would refer to your child team CSS in the code if you need somewhere in the code, right? Um, and then it does the same thing. It says get style sheet directory. So it's a slightly different. So the get template directory will look for the folder right here for the parent team, and when you say get style sheet directory URI, it will look inside this current folder where your file is located. So it will look inside our child team, and it will get the same file, styles.css. And WordPress needs this file to be named style.css. You can have other CSS files. Are you all familiar with HTML and CSS? Like you all had that class, right? So you know that you can have several different style sheets. You don't have to have one style sheet external. So in WordPress, this is the one that you have to have, and it has to be style.css. And if you have others, you would use this exact same thing. You would just name it differently, right? You would save it style2.css or mystyles.css, and then you would just say, okay, get me this file and enqueue it inside the theme. And this part right here, you don't need to worry about it. You just put it there. This will control the versions of your file or of your styles. So for example, let's try it out. So this looks good. I'm gonna save functions and style sheet. So when I go to my themes, I refresh, I got something that I messed up. Where did I do that? Oh, actually, oh, this is not a comment. I was showing you, I forgot to delete this part. So PHP had a broken line, and I got this syntax error, whatever it says, WP. PHP does good in your development environment. It will tell you, most than likely will tell you what file and what line you messed up. So I messed up on line 11. It was line 11. It was like somewhere around there. And then you go back and you see, oh, okay, I forgot semicolon. If you forget semicolon here and you refresh, it's gonna give you the same error, right? It says syntax error, and then it says on this file line 9. So it's not like precise there. So it passed this line, and then it saw that it thinks that it's still one single line of code, but actually it's not. So it will give you close to where your break is, so you can go and debug really quick. And I go and scan this code, and I say, oh, okay, this is very often you're gonna have your semicolon. You're gonna forget that like a lot. So you just go fix that, and there you go. I don't have any errors. My 2017 child is here. When I go to the front end refresh, it brought all the styles from my parent team here, right? So can you all try to do that part?
Syntax error, unexpected parents, line 6.
So is this kind of clear what this functions.php is doing? You don't have to write it, but by hand, like you can copy, just kind of change and understand what it's doing. So this WP enqueue style, there is another one called WP enqueue script, which brings your JavaScript stuff in, and we will use that later on when we start with our actually next class. We will start with our team from scratch, and we're gonna need to include our JavaScript if someone wants to do some JavaScript stuff. So are you good? Did you do it?
I
Yeah,
have
it's
it.
working all
Yeah,
good.
it's
It looks now
Yeah,
same
looks
as the
like-
parent, right?
Yeah.
And you understand why it didn't work the first time, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't tell WordPress, oh, bring all these styles from the parent team, and this is where we did it. Here we told WordPress, okay, enqueue these styles and plus use our own styles. So this other part is so let's do until other people are working on it. Let's change body, oops, and let's say background color blue. We save that, and oh, okay, I gotta show you some other stuff before that. Okay, but this will work right from here on. Actually, should it work already? Why didn't? All right, I'm gonna have to go back to that to make sure that it might be cached. We'll see. But this is all you need to do to have your child theme created. And you have that WordPress codex is your place where you want to go a lot of times to find snippets like that and explanation about, like, you can go and search for this function, and I go on WordPress codex almost every day. Really, like, I don't want to remember. I mean, these things are you will get around those quickly, but some other functions or actions. So this last part I didn't do. It's actually we tell WordPress, okay, execute this function right now. So it's WordPress has actions built in, or those are uh, it happens as an event inside WordPress. So you tell one of them, it's called WP enqueue scripts, and that tells WordPress, okay, whenever WordPress sees this add action and this part, it expects you to tell it, okay, what function I need to add when I'm adding the scripts. So this part here actually builds your, you know how in HTML you have um, in your head section you have link and then style sheet and then your URL. This is what is building for you. So WordPress is dynamic. It's building the whole page like that. You don't go and do HTML and then head and then those other parts like this. It's all built in WordPress, and you just say, okay, whenever you're building that link style sheet in the head section, okay, when you're done with all the stuff that you have already, just add this function as well, and you see it's called as our function right here. So it's gonna go and execute this function, which will bring our old styles, parent styles, and it will bring our child styles as well. So that's all it's doing. So it should all, is it all, you guys are good? Everyone got it working and going? All right. Do you need break or something before we jump on Git stuff? Do you want a break or are you good to go? It's all right if you want a break. It's fine. Let me just stop this for a second, the recording, and I'll be right there with you. Where is the